Hey guys, Steven here from Oddball Publishing. Just wanted to give an update on everything that's going on with the book. Just because we do a lot of the social media stuff with Instagram and Facebook, trying to pump out more with YouTube. It's just you end up dealing with time constraints with all of that, just because we have other jobs. And this is a huge passion project for us, and something that we really enjoy doing. Just a lot of times, all these other things, this is like the last thing on the tier of things that we have to get done, and we need to get better at that. And that's one of the things, looking at what we need to improve. Presence and videos and keeping updates and all that is definitely one of those things. But right now, the story is officially done. We got all those edits done between me and my writing partner Isaac. So all of those are done. It's now gone off to the editor. It is September 19th, I think, or 20th, September 20th. She got back the 15th. That was the big thing. It's like making sure it got to the editor, because she's going to need a couple weeks with it. Well, we're shooting for an October 27th release date. That comes with a lot of things that has to be done. This book's going to be roughly 130 to 150 pages, right? That we're working on now. And the book's called Intertwined, a Witch's Fable. And all female main characters, which is something that we really wanted to do. And with that, talking to different people, making sure that we're nailing things with how these sisters talk to each other, their interactions, would they do that in those certain situations, things that we feel should go in there as well. So the input, doing those things, giving some meat to it, so it's not, we didn't want it to be super dismissive and like just speeding through certain situations. And that was important to us, making sure dialogue between characters is there, so it just enriches the story overall. And you feel an attachment to the characters, where if you just read through it and there's not that there, you're going to be quick to dismiss it. That, and then like I said, the editor being out of town, because we were going to try and give it to her in chunks, and then she went on vacation for a couple weeks. And she works as an editor. This is her doing this on the side. So that's another thing that we have to consider with all of that, she has other things going on just like we do. So that kind of slows things down a little bit. Once we get those, then we have to correct those. Now, in the meantime, I'm formatting everything. So that's what I'm going to do this weekend. Now that we have everything done, I kind of hit a roadblock because I have a huge chunk of it formatted. I need this last section that I could format. With formatting, I also need the art from our artist, Zach Raw, because I have to have those image placements there to know what's going to work, how big it's going to be, how especially if it spans across 2 pages, how that's going to fit across those 2 pages, and then what's going to be able to fit in terms of the story, and all the words that are going to fit there. So looking at that, now he has the placement holders for me. Now we can actually format. I'll do that this weekend, and I'll finish this weekend. And I wanted to be ahead of that because I didn't want to just wait till everything gets done. That's one of my bigger things, is like I'm usually in a rush, and I know one of the things I need to work on is trying to not rush everything, but I always want to be ahead of the game. And it becomes an issue where I want people to be at my speed, which is 100 miles a second. But I want everybody to have that, and that's harder when it's your thing, to expect them to have your intensity with it. You can't expect them to have that, but just expecting at least a high level of output with it. I mean, work on it, you know what I mean? And I expect that of everybody that's a part of these projects that we do, but I also realize that I have to do a lot of that myself. So I'll get that done this weekend, and once I'm done and I'm ahead of the curve, the second the editor gets us back little chunks and we correct that, I can just plug it right in to the format that we have, and I do everything through Adobe Photoshop. Then we import that once it's done over to Adobe Acrobat. We have to put it in a PDF format, and then we send that off to the publishing company. So we go with CreateSpace, but I guess CreateSpace is being absorbed by Kindle Publishing Direct. Now both are Amazon companies. Amazon owns CreateSpace, as it does Kindle Publishing, obviously, with that one. But they bought CreateSpace years ago. We've dealt with them, but now I guess they're just putting it all under one roof. So I called them today actually and was asking about what that's going to mean for our books. Nothing changes really. The format in terms of their website is a little bit different. So I'm going to have to help navigate that. That's going to be a learning experience. For us, it's kind of coming at one of those times where we're in a rush to get this thing done, and we're going to have to learn this new thing. They don't know when they're going to force migration. Right now, it's just they're hoping that you'll elect to. Eventually, you'll be forced to. So you'll go to CreateSpace. It'll be like log into Kindle. So if we can get this done before they force that, that would be at least a little bit easier on me, so I don't have to learn this new thing. We'll see on that. Because with that comes, like, if something's off, then I have to do edits, then I have to resubmit it, and it becomes a back and forth process with the company, right? Which means I'm doing all this via the website. So if that happened in the middle of that, it's just like another layer of stress. So we'll see. Keep my fingers crossed on it. And this is where I usually get in that spot. It's like I debate whether or not I should do something. I always keep my fingers crossed that I don't, and sometimes I luck out, which saves a lot of time. But if I'm wrong, it's going to cost a lot of time. So we'll see with that one. I don't think they're going to force migration. My expectation is it'll be in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and we should be done in 4. So we'll see. Once that's available, we'll do more promo stuff. I'm going to put a link for our Instagram page so you guys can check that out as well on our Facebook page, because that's where you're going to see a lot of the content in terms of the art that our artist is doing, all that other stuff. With the input, and I know I've talked about this before, but with the input from all the females in our lives that we've been asking, because we're 2 males writing about these female main characters, we got a ton of input from them, and we're going to have a thank you page in the book. But also, our editor is female, and so asking her, like, from her perspective, did we get these certain things right? Is there something wrong? And she is so meticulous and so good at what she does, writing in those things and saying, hey, this is off, that's wrong, this doesn't make sense, I would change this, and giving us that feedback. With that, the amount of pages that we have in our Google Doc for it, because that's how we write, so it's easier to go back and forth, we're at 69 pages. That's going to translate roughly to 130 to 150 for our it's 5 1/4 by 8 book. That's going to translate to like I said, a lot of those pages. But if there's a lot of stuff like that in the book that we have to go back through and do, that means a lot of work on our side. We have to make these corrections, rewrite something, tweak something, and that is very time consuming. Makes the book so much better, which is awesome. But if we're shooting for a release date on something, that makes it a little bit trickier. And one of the reasons why we're shooting for that date is this is a witch book. Our other book series, Zombie Bedtime Story, is a zombie book. That's a couple days before Halloween. So capitalizing essentially on the time of year, and going to Wizards Asylum, which is a local comic book store here. We've done some book signings there before. And then some other spots that we're going to go to, hopefully Nova Comics in downtown. We're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My writing partner's in Denver. Me and the artist live in Tulsa. Looking at that, Decapolis, downtown. We have multiple locations that we want to try to hit up and do multiple signings, but with that, trying to hit that mark, and it's a time-sensitive thing. I mean, we got a month and a week, basically, which is a time crunch, but it's also why I'm trying to stay ahead of the game. So that's the update, guys. More to come soon, and eventually I'm just going to end up linking the book on this. It'll be in the comment section, so you can find that as well. But check out the Instagram page, check out the Facebook page, let us know what you think with all of that. A lot of that is art-driven stuff, too. It's really like the concept art, the character design stuff. We're really art-heavy on that, just because that's just, especially with Instagram, it's a visually based social media platform. Looking at that so that we can kind of engage customers with that type of media. Otherwise, if it's a whole bunch of other things, and we do videos on there as well, but if it was predominantly video, you're probably not going to care in terms of that, just because that's not really what everybody goes to that platform for, in terms of me talking about the art in the book. So That's why we kind of sprinkle those in there, just because we end up giving little small updates. But if you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along, click the subscribe button for us. Trying to pump out more content. Because my writing partner is not here, it makes it a little bit harder because I want to do a lot of content where it's me and him bouncing off of each other. But when he is in town, we will be shooting videos for that as well. So look for those, and hopefully you guys can come back, check back, and find some of these updates with some of the books as well and actually purchase those. But if you ever do want one, we always want you to hit us up first so that we can actually sign it and then send it to you. So thanks for watching, guys.